Welcome in everybody to the Devil's Hour here in Berlin Center, Ohio at Ben's Restaurant. My name is Chris Gucci. I'm here with Coach Doc. Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Chris?
So I was talking to Coach Armini a little bit. He said, I need a little reliever this week. Can you get someone else? And I'm like, yeah, who do you want? He pointed to his right-hand man. So you're here. Huge week. Crazy huge week. More than likely, you guys win this week. You lose, you're out. It's plain as it gets. And it's rivalry week, week 10, rivalries all over the state of Ohio. How important is it for a good week of practice?
Yeah, it's imperative. We've done a nice job so far through 2 days to just focus on us. We got to make sure we're assignment sound on offense and defense, and then have a clean special teams. And I think if we do those things, as you said, we're winning it. It's that simple.
You guys have all your seniors here tonight. It's the siblings of the seniors. How important is it to have the senior class and the leaders you guys have?
It's very special for all of us. Coach Armini kind of reminiscent about this on our team, that these seniors were the first group of freshmen we had when we came on a few years ago. So seeing these young men grow as 14-year-old freshmen, getting their first varsity experience, and now they're all on the field, some of them two-way starters. It's very special to us, but at the same time, we don't want to think about that until after, it's all said and done. Hopefully that's in another month or so. But, we got to worry about a few days from now first.
You're a big defensive guy. What brought you to the defensive side? My favorite side of the ball. What brought you to the defensive
side? In high school, I was an offensive guy, played receiver in high school. And when I first started out coaching, was big on the offensive side of the ball. I think it made a smoother transition. I'm able to see it from that offensive where it's like, hey, how would a team attack us? And for the most part, I'd like to think I do a pretty good job, but sometimes make mistakes. I wish I could pitch a bunch of shutouts like Matt Patricia and the Buckeyes are right now, but I can't get away with that. I don't have Sonny Styles and some of those other guys. No, yeah, I think being an offensive guy allows me to kind of tap into some of that every week.
For it being such a crucial, important game coming up, how are you going with your defensive mindset? What's your defensive mindset? You don't want to give away everything. You don't have to give away that much.
Sure.
What's your mindset for the next?
No, I mean, goal every week is stopping the run. And Jackson Milton is very well coached. Coach Shaner was at Middle Ridge for a few years. We've had some good battles with them. They have a very dynamic backfield. Their quarterback runs the ball pretty hard, shifty, not a bad passer, but they know he wants to move the ball downfield, and their running back's pretty physical. So far we've had two pretty physical practices where it's like, hey, we got to sell out on these guys. Still have to respect the pass, but we've been selling out and getting after it these last couple of days. And hopefully we're able to keep doing that tomorrow and Thursday and translate that on Friday night.
Who are some of the defensive players that stepped up?
Yeah, we had, when you look at our seniors, a lot of our seniors are on our defensive line. So on the back half of our defense, we thought, hey, where can some of these sophomores take a big step, or juniors take a big step? Our linebacking core, Phil Dotson is our outside linebacker, the defensive tackles, TFLs, our two inside backers, Wyatt Len and Carson Myers, have done a nice job as they've gotten their feet wet and more comfortable. And I think in the secondary especially, other than Nate Alexander, who's a very talented senior, we play a bunch of sophomores back there. Dom Klute does a nice job. A couple big pass breakups. We'd like to see him secure one and get a pick. Jaden Goddard as a sophomore has a pick. Shane Ashburn at safety. So we've been very young on the back half. But as the season's gone on, we've seen some confidence in a few of those guys that when it comes time to the crunch time on Friday, I think they'll step up to the challenge.
What is your favorite part Friday night
football? I am, these kids will all admit it. Hopefully they don't admit it here getting interviewed. I'm a bit of a lunatic on Friday nights. I get very amped up. My big part is our pregame speech. So we always have offensive, defensive meetings. So we get into our defensive meetings. We finalize our scheme, talk about, like, hey, this is what we did throughout the week. Make sure we're aware of this. And then I'll give a little bit of a rah-rah. Sometimes they're not so great because either we're playing a lackluster opponent or I just don't have anything really inspiring to say. but some of them I get really jacked up.
It's for this Friday night going to be one of the games we probably.
You know what? I've been mentally prepping because, as the importance as you talked to at the beginning is that we're winning in. And we'd like to be able to coach these guys a little bit longer. So, I mean, it'll definitely, some emotions will be flying, but you'll also have to keep those in check because, the most important play is the next one. So it's like we may make a big play, a big TFL, big sack, and I can't just be jumping up and down. I got to be like, hey, we got to get ready because they can come to the air and attack us next play.
You're on the road this week at Jacksonville. What are some challenges you guys face going on the road?
I've actually noticed this as the track coach. Jackson Milton Stadium is very up close. So I think that's kind of the excitement of small school football is you feel the crowd. And I know you played at South Range. You feel the crowd and the energy when you're at those games. You're going to feel that going on the road. JM doesn't like us very much. We don't like them very much either. It's like when you get there in pregame, you're going to hear it from their stands. You'll hear our crowd and the energy. I think it's going to be a loud atmosphere. They understand. I'm sure it's their senior night, so it's like there's a lot on the table. So I think you're going to have a real exciting atmosphere.
You talked about Western Reserve doesn't like Jacksonville, and Jacksonville doesn't like Western Reserve. How do you keep players' emotions in check? It's going to happen. You play rivals, schools, and John goes back and forth. Keep our players' emotions in check to just stay focused on it.
Sure. I think that our upperclassmen do a pretty good job of understanding that it's a nameless opponent. If you're playing DN, you're lining up against an offensive tackle. Doesn't matter what their colors are, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you've got to go after it. Likewise on offense. When you're catching the snap at quarterback, you're attacking that defense. Doesn't matter who it is. So I think our upperclassmen do a good job of policing that themselves, that us as coaches really don't have to worry about that so much.
All right. Outside of football, what's some things Coach Stott likes to do?
I'm a big classic rock guy, so like my girlfriend and I will go to different concerts and whatnot. And I'm a big sports fan in general. So not only going to football games, baseball games, I deal with sports cards as well. So I'm buying sports cards, selling sports cards. So I'm almost around sports too much.
All right, final question for you. Every time, first interview, I know I interviewed you last year, but I forget already. Everyone I ask questions. You're on a road trip. You're going somewhere far. You're going to a Tigers, and you got to stop at a gas station. What's your gas station?
I'm definitely getting a tall boy of Coke or Pepsi, whatever the biggest, 82 ounce or 96 ounce or Coke or Pepsi, and then I'm probably getting some type of chicken wrap, like the Sheets snack wraps or whatever they call them. Those things are fantastic. So I'll get some type of snack wraps, and then I'll get like a Kit Kat or a Crunch Bar and down that on the drive.
Coach, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
I hope to call you guys some playoffs.
So I'm looking forward to see.
Good luck.
Thank you.